Do you want to know why your reality still hasn't changed, even after everything you've learned? Because the universe doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your vibration. And both knew this for millennia. He left a secret message hidden in the teachings that almost no one understood. And this message only appears when you are vibrating at the right frequency. Today, you will discover how to align your vibration with the force that truly creates your reality. And I will show you what is preventing you from accessing what is already yours by right. This is no longer a theory. It is an activation. And if you stay with me until the end, you will understand why. When you vibrate correctly, reality has no other choice but become what you are. And then you will know the mystery of all movements. Have you ever stopped to think about why certain sounds affect you in a way you can't explain? Some songs calm you down, others give you chills, and some seem to touch a place you didn't even know existed. That's not a coincidence. It's vibration. And ancients knew this with an uncanny precision. In ancient Egypt, temples weren't just places of worship. They were vibrational laboratories. And the symbols carved on the walls weren't just decoration. Every line, every angle, every pattern had a specific purpose to transmit frequencies. They were drawing sound, literally. They created shapes that, when activated by voice, drum, or breath, generated waves that altered the state of consciousness of those present. And those frequencies still exist. They're recorded in stone, waiting for those who know how to read them. Hermes Trismegistus, known as Thoth among the Egyptians, encoded this wisdom into sound formulas that weren't meant to be read, but felt when played, even imperfectly. These formulas resonate in the human body, as if something inside is being unlocked. An ancient memory, a forgotten sensation, an energy that can't be explained, but is instantly recognized. That's why certain sounds make you cry for no reason, because they touch a layer beyond the rational mind. It's like something inside you says, I remember this, even if I don't know when I heard it. One of the best known examples today is the 430U Hz frequency. And no, it's not just some meditation music from the internet. This frequency is in sync with the natural heartbeat, with the rhythm of nature, with the earth's vibration. And when you enter that field, something changes. Your body relaxes, your mind quiets, your energy begins to organize effortlessly. This happens because that frequency resonates with who you really are, not your social identity, not your chaotic thoughts, but your vibrational core. And when that happens, you don't need to understand what's going on. You feel it, you know it, you come into coherence. In ancient Egypt, this was used as a form of healing, alignment, and even consciousness expansion. And the most impressive part, this was recorded in temples like Dendera, where the ceilings display astrological symbols and sound waves carved side by side, as if to say that the sky and sound are aspects of the same creative force. But why was all this forgotten? Or rather, why was all this hidden? Because whoever controls sound controls vibration, and whoever controls vibration controls reality. The ancients knew it was possible to change emotional, physical, and mental states using only sound frequency. They didn't need external distractions or artificial stimuli. They knew how to access the real through the invisible. And here's the core point of this part. Sound, when pure and intentional, doesn't just fill the air. It passes through the body. It restructures the water inside the cells, changes thought patterns, and creates vibrational states where healing and manifestation happen naturally. It's not something esoteric or imaginary. It's sound. It's physics. It's vibration applied to consciousness. So when you hear 430 Thohists, or when you're in a place that seems to vibrate with you, don't ignore it. Your body recognizes what your mind still can't explain. And what's happening? There is more than relaxation. It's realignment. But what few people know is that there's something beyond. Something so sealed for those who are ready. Something that doesn't reveal itself through sound, but through presence, divine electricity. When God moves, presence is not just attention. Presence is conduction. And when the body is present, it begins to allow energy to flow more clearly. And that's when something surprising happens. What the ancients called life, what modern science calls bioelectricity, what the masters called spirit, all of it reveals itself as one thing: electrical energy in motion. This force has always been with you. It's not external. It doesn't come from outside. It pulses within every cell, in every particle that makes up your body. And we're not talking about something symbolic or metaphorical. We're talking about real electric current, about pulses that move through your nervous system, signals that travel at incredible speeds, making your heart beat, your muscles move, and your mind function. And still, even with all this happening, you live as if you're disconnected. But both already said electricity is God in motion. What does that mean? It means that the force you call life is exactly the same one that moves galaxies, the same that generates a lightning bolt in the sky or lights up a star. That energy, when it manifests inside the human body, what we call embodied consciousness. And if that force is within you, then there is no separation between you and the source. You're not just a part of it. You are the energy itself in expression. The problem is that over time, you've grown distant from that force. You've absorbed noise, overload, interference. You've let negative thoughts, unhealed traumas, and heavy emotions interrupt the natural flow of divine energy. And when that happens, the field begins to lose coherence. The vibration becomes disorganized, and the body responds with fatigue, anxiety, illness. But here's the crucial point. When you return to coherence, the body heals itself. Not because you made a mental effort to change, but because the energy began to flow again as it always should have. This is not a miracle. This is vibrational physics. It's nature returning to its natural course. This state of coherence is recognized today even by studies in neuroscience and quantum physics. When the brain and heart are in sync, when mind and body are aligned in the same vibrational state, energy flows steadily. The body's electromagnetic field expands. The sense of clarity increases. Emotions stabilize. The immune system improves. And more than that, you feel it. You don't analyze it. You feel centered, whole, or home again. Thoth knew this before any laboratory. And that's why he called electricity the movement of God. Because there is no separation between the spiritual and the biological, between the invisible and the tangible. Everything is a vibrational expression of the same original force. But there is something even more powerful, something that can activate that force directly. A key that vibrates within language, a command that, when used correctly, instantly alters your field. And that command is not secret. It's repeated every day. But the world has forgotten how to use it. And that's why it lost its power. It's one of the shortest phrases in human language, and yet, it's one of the most powerful. Because when you say I am, you're not just describing yourself. You're emitting a frequency, a vibrational signature that shapes the field around you, a direct order to the universe. But there's one detail most people ignore. That order only works when it's given with presence. And that's where everything starts to fall apart. Humanity started using I am automatically, mechanically disconnected, I am tired, I am anxious, I am unlucky, phrases that seem harmless, but are constantly activating low-frequency energy patterns. And the more we repeat those declarations, the more they become reality. Not because the universe wants to punish someone, but because it's simply responding to the command given. Some. Jama, who is cited as one of the great masters of the White Brotherhood, said with power and clarity, I am the resurrection and the life. I am abundance. I am the governing presence. He didn't say it like someone reciting an empty mantra. He knew what he was doing. He was vibrating with authority, vibrating with conviction, vibrating with awareness. And that is exactly what Thoth taught in a veiled way in Egypt. Initiates learned that all creation begins with an inner statement, and that this statement, once spoken, becomes an energetic seal, a vibrational decree. There is no neutrality in this field. Every time you say, I am, you are creating. Even when you don't realize it, even when you say it out of habit, creation keeps happening. That's why so many people keep repeating the same experiences, the same cycles, the same patterns. Because the vibrational field is being fed daily by unconscious affirmations. And the universe, which only understands vibration, keeps obeying. The phrase I am is like a key, and when used with clarity, it opens portals. But when used in a distorted way, it closes paths. It's like programming a system with the wrong codes, and then getting frustrated when the result doesn't come. But the system isn't broken, it's just following the command it received. When you say, "I'm love," something in the field aligns. When you say, "I am lost," something in the field collapses. Words are not just words, they are sound fields, thought forms, dense or subtle vibrations that spread and build the fabric of reality around you. And the most challenging part is that this isn't about empty repetition. You can say "I'm light" 1,000 times and nothing will happen, because the real activation only happens when you feel what you're declaring. When your thought, emotion, and body vibrate in the same alignment as what's being said, that's when the magic happens. And it's not magic as an illusion, it's magic as in forgotten science. The ancient I Am is a primordial code. It's a reminder that you are an active part of the whole, and that by declaring your identity, you are shaping your experience. That's why enlightened masters never used I Am in vain, because they knew that each time they spoke, they were rewriting their own reality. But what no one told you is that I Am alone is not enough. The reason lies in a silent, almost imperceptible mechanism that connects your thoughts, emotions, and words in an energetic dance that determines everything you vibrate. And it's in this junction that most people sabotage their own frequency without realizing it. Words are living vibration, and they create reality. And this is where many people get it wrong. They believe it's enough to say the right things, repeat positive phrases, keep an elevated speech. But true vibration isn't in what you say, it's in what you carry behind what you say. Because the word is just the shell, what shapes reality is the frequency that comes from within. You can say "fine" with a smile on your face and still emit fear, insecurity, sadness. The universe doesn't listen to your mouth, it feels your vibration, and vibration doesn't lie. The word is a container, a vehicle that carries the energetic content of your consciousness. It can be a portal or a prison, it can open paths or strengthen blocks. And that's why the ancients treated the word with reverence in Egypt, Greece, and in the Vedic traditions of India. In all these cultures, sound was considered sacred not because of its external form, but because of the vibrational impact it produces. Today, science can already measure how different words affect physical structures. Experiments with water crystals show that words like love and gratitude form harmonic and symmetrical geometries, while words like hate or anger produce distorted, chaotic patterns. This isn't cheap Easter terrorism, it's frequent, quincy, it's sound-shaping matter. And if water responds like that, imagine what happens inside your body, which is made up of about 70% water. Every time you say something, you send that vibration into yourself before it reaches anyone else. The word affects the inner field before it touches the outer. And here comes an uncomfortable truth. You could be energetically sabotaging yourself every day with seemingly harmless phrases. "I'm terrible with money, always late. My memory is awful, my life is a mess." These phrases, said out of habit, are programming your field to repeat exactly what you say. Now think about the cumulative effect of that. A lifetime of negative phrases repeated daily, charged with real emotion, creating vibrational tracks that shape what you attract, how people treat you, the challenges that arise, the opportunities that drift away. Louds. Who knew this? He didn't speak in motivational language, but in vibrational cycles. Watch your thoughts, for they become words, words become actions, actions become destiny. It's a chain process that begins subtly and ends tangibly. It starts in the invisible and ends in the physical. And that's why by raising the vibration of your words, you begin to change the entire manifestation track of your life. It's not about thinking positively as an escape from reality. It's about responsibly choosing the type of frequency you want to expand. But for this to work, there must be coherence. Because you can say the word peace and vibrate war. You can say gratitude and emit resentment. You can declare "I am light" with a body full of guilt. And in that case, the word becomes empty. And when the word is empty, it doesn't create. It only repeats. Living vibration only happens when the word comes loaded with true intention, when the body, mind, and feeling are in sync with what's being said. That's when it becomes a creative sound. That's when it reorganizes the field, unlocks paths, dissolves resistance, and you feel the difference instantly. But what almost no one understands is that this alignment starts before the speech. It starts in the invisible space between what is thought, what is felt, and what is expressed. And in that space, most people lose control of their own frequency without even realizing it. What comes next is not a metaphor, nor a baseless spiritual theory. It's a realization that spans philosophy, psychology, and now physics. The reality you live in is not objective. It's shaped by how your mind interprets the world, and that interpretation depends on the frequency you're emitting. Immanuel Kant, one of the greatest philosophers in history, stated this centuries ago. He didn't talk about the law of attraction or subtle energy, but he clearly said, "What you see is not the world itself. It's a version of the world filtered through the categories of your mind." This means no one sees reality as it truly is. Each person sees a fraction of it based on the lens they learn to use. And that lens is not neutral. It was shaped by experiences, traumas, repetitions, inherited patterns. And all of this together forms a vibrational filter, a field that interprets everything that comes your way. The same situation can seem like an opportunity to one person and a disaster to another, not because the fact changed, but because the filter did. When someone is vibrating in scarcity, for example, that filter distorts everything. Even when opportunities appear, the person only sees what could go wrong. They doubt, self-sabotage, refuse before even trying, and they think they're being cautious, when in reality, they're a prisoner of their own frequency. On the other hand, someone in a vibrational state of gratitude sees abundance where others only see lack. Not because they live in a fairy tale, but because their field is tuned to notice the gaps, the signs, the open paths. And the most curious thing is that over time, this perception feeds itself. The more you see possibilities, the more they appear. The more you see doors, the more doors open. It's like a quantum mirror. The universe reflects what you vibrate as internal reality. And the reflection is not instant. Because reality doesn't respond to your fleeting desire. It responds to the frequency you sustain. This is where many give up. They try to vibrate gratitude for a day or two, then fall back into the scarcity pattern. And then they say it doesn't work. But the field doesn't respond to attempts. It responds to vibrational consistency, to the sum of what you think, feel, and believe when no one is watching. That's why the real work is not on the outside. It's not about changing the scenery, the job, the city, the partner. It's about changing the base of perception that shapes your experience. It's looking inward and adjusting the field that defines what you see, what you understand as possible, and what you believe you're capable of living. The mind creates the structure, but the structure is flexible. It can be remade, it can be reprogrammed, and it all starts with a simple act: observing what you've been assuming is truth. What words do you repeat? What emotions do you feed? What stories have you told? So many times, they've become reality. This is the invitation to awareness. Not so you become paranoid, but so you reclaim control. So you stop living in reaction to the world and start shaping it from a conscious vibration. But here comes a subtle detail that few notice. Because even when the mind changes, even when the emotion transforms, there is one last transition point that needs to be crossed. Something that many ignore, and that determines whether this new vibration will really take hold or collapse before it manifests. You eat the vibration, you manifest. It's not enough to just change your thoughts. It's not enough to just generate elevated emotions. If the body doesn't sustain the vibration, the field collapses. And that's why so many people feel like they improve for a while and then end up back where they started. The body is the base, the foundation, the antenna. And this antenna is quantum because your body isn't made of solid matter. That's just how it seems. But physics has already shown the atoms that form each of your cells aren't rigid blocks. The nuclei with almost empty space around them, vibrating space, space full of possibilities. Technically, what you call a body is a set of probabilities vibrating at high speed. And what does that mean? That you are more energy than matter, that you are vibration condensed into physical form, and that if everything inside you is constantly vibrating, then you can directly influence how that vibration is organized. That's what explains phenomena like self-healing, sensations of expansion, spontaneous realignments. It's not a miracle. It's the vibration of your field reorganizing from the inside out. The body responds to the vibration you sustain. And more than that, it projects that vibration. It communicates with the environment, with people, with situations. Your energy field is like a constant broadcast that sends signals to the universe about who you're being in that moment, and the universe responds according to that signal. But if the vibration isn't anchored in the physical body, it doesn't hold. It's like trying to tune into a radio station with a damaged antenna. The signal comes and goes, loses strength, breaks up. And then comes the frustration, the feeling that nothing works for me, when in fact, the issue lies in the body's vibrational foundation. And here, we get to a point that few people take seriously. The energy you consume. What enters your body defines the frequency it can sustain. That includes food, sleep, and environment. Everything you absorb vibrates within you. Food is not just fuel, it's information. Each food carries a vibrational pattern. Living natural, whole foods carry organized, coherent fields aligned with nature. They nourish not only your cells, but your field. Processed, artificial, intoxicating foods carry disorganized, fragmented frequencies that disrupt your vibration. Have you noticed how certain foods make you feel slower, heavier, more irritable? That's not just psychological, it's vibrational. What you eat changes what you feel, and what you feel changes what you admit, and what you admit determines what you experience. The same goes for sleep. Sleeping isn't just physical rest, it's a deep process of energetic reboot. While you sleep, your nervous system recalibrates, the body's vibration, the brain's frequency changes, the field reorganizes. And if you don't sleep well, you can't sustain any high vibration for long. That's why tired, stressed, poorly nourished people, even when they want to change their lives, can't maintain the energetic field needed to support a new reality. Their body is vibrating chaos, and the universe is simply responding with more of the same. And there's another factor few people consider: the environment. The place you live, the objects around you, the people you interact. Those frequencies interfere with your field. Environments filled with noise, visual clutter, artificial lighting, and excess technology generate interference, and that pulls you away from your original frequency. On the other hand, places with nature, silence, natural light, and visual harmony restore your field as if they're reconnecting you to the pulse of life. Nature is a base frequency. It vibrates in alignment with the matrix of creation. That's why you feel at peace when you walk barefoot on the ground, listen to the sound of water, or breathe in the air around trees. It's not just relaxation, it's realignment with the original field. And the more you neglect this, the further you get from your vibrational potential, because you're trying to change your life. With a misaligned antenna, full of static, blocked by patterns the body can no longer sustain. But here's an ancient secret that few people know. Even if you take care of your diet, your sleep, and your environment, there's still a practice forgotten over time that raises your vibration with almost immediate force. It was used in temples preserved by initiates, and now, little by little, it's returning. Fourth secret message: everything changes when you vibrate correctly. For millennia, this practice was reserved only for initiates, not out of spiritual elitism, but because it required something the modern world has almost forgotten: surrender, total presence, true connection with body, mind, and spirit. And that's exactly why it works. Meditation, Reiki, sound therapy, acupuncture. These practices aren't trends or superficial fixes. They're tuning portals, tools to adjust inner frequency, dissolve interference, and allow your field to remember its original structure. When you meditate, you're not just calming your mind, you're clearing vibrational residue. When you receive Reiki or are exposed to harmonic sound frequencies, you're allowing your energy field to be reorganized with patterns of greater coherence. It's like tuning your own internal instrument. The reality you live in is directly linked to the level of vibrational organization you sustain. And these rituals exist precisely to return you to that state of coherence. You don't need to intellectually understand how it happens, because your body understands. It responds before the mind. And when you reach that subtle alignment, you no longer have to fight the world. Reality starts to cooperate with you. This is where what many call miracles happen. But they're not miracles in the religious sense. They're natural results of a clean, centered, and whole vibrational field. Physical healing happens because the body finally has space to self-regenerate. Opportunities arise because the field stops repelling and starts attracting what's in the same vibration. Relationships change, cycles end. Things start to flow, not because the world out there changed, but because your frequency became compatible with what you previously couldn't access. And this doesn't require grand rituals or complex ceremonies. Sometimes 5 minutes of conscious breathing changes everything. Sometimes a moment of silence, away from the noise, is enough for the field to begin reorganizing. But it requires intention, awareness, willingness to stop operating on autopilot. You weren't made to live in noise, nor to be carried away by disordered thoughts, by external stimuli that fragment your attention all the time. You were born with the unique vibrational field, which only works fully when in harmony. And all these tools exist to remind your system of who it is. These practices are like compasses. They don't create the vibration in you. They simply remove what's keeping you from vibrating as who you already are. They cleanse, tune, reorder, and when the field finds its point of harmony, everything starts to shift effortlessly, because the right frequency doesn't have to be forced. It simply is. It expresses itself. It manifests. And that's why Thoth, the master who understood the most subtle layers of existence, left a message that can only be understood by those who have walked this path to the end. A message that changes everything. Not because it brings a magic formula, but because it reveals what has always been right in front of you, waiting for the right moment to be activated. If this message has reached you, in the comments, I choose to vibrate differently from now on. That phrase isn't just a comment. It's a vibrational signal, an anchoring in the field. Oh, and if you felt that this content truly touched you, and you want to help this channel continue spreading this wisdom around the world, there's a link in the pinned comment where you can contribute directly to the project. Your help makes all the difference, not just for this channel, but for everyone who will still be reached by this vibration. And before you go, a special video was selected for you to continue this journey. It's appearing now on the screen. Click on it, and I'll see you there.